This is Syllabrew. I'll take a few words, define them clearly, talk about how people actually use them, and give you example sentences so they have a better chance of sticking. Today's words are tenuous, discern, conjecture, tacit, and presumptive. Tenuous. Tenuous means weak, thin, uncertain, or not strongly supported. You can use tenuous when a connection, argument, explanation, or relationship exists, but only barely. A tenuous claim might sound possible, but it does not have much evidence behind it. A tenuous connection between two events may be interesting, but not strong enough to prove anything. The word is useful when you want to say, there may be something here, but the link is weak. For example, the evidence created only a tenuous connection between the two events. Another example, his argument sounded confident, but the logic behind it was tenuous. Discern. Discern means to recognize, detect, or figure something out, especially when it is not obvious. You might discern a pattern in confusing data. You might discern someone's real mood from their tone of voice. You might discern the difference between two ideas that seem similar at first. Discern is stronger than simply see or notice. It suggests careful perception, judgment, or understanding. For example, after reading the report twice, she began to discern a pattern in the complaints. Another example, it was difficult to discern whether he was joking or being serious. Conjecture. Conjecture means a guess or theory based on incomplete information. Conjecture is not the same as proof. It can be thoughtful and reasonable, but it is still not confirmed. Historians, scientists, journalists, and ordinary people all use conjecture when they are trying to explain something without having all the facts. The word is useful when you want to separate what is known from what is being guessed. For example, the idea that the painting was unfinished is still conjecture, not established fact. Another example, without the missing records, any explanation would involve some conjecture. Tacit. Tacit means understood without being directly stated. A tacit agreement is not written down or spoken clearly, but everyone involved seems to understand it. A tacit rule may exist in a workplace, family, or social group even though nobody officially announced it. Tacit is useful when something is real but unspoken. For example, there was a tacit understanding that no one would bring up the argument again. Another example, by staying silent, the manager gave tacit approval to the plan. Presumptive. Presumptive means based on assumption, probability, or what seems likely before everything is fully confirmed. A presumptive conclusion is not random. It may be reasonable. It may even turn out to be correct, but it is still based on what appears likely rather than what has been proven beyond doubt. You might hear presumptive used in law, medicine, politics, research, or any situation where people are working with incomplete information. A doctor might make a presumptive diagnosis before test results come back. A news report might describe someone as the presumptive winner before every vote has been officially counted. The word is useful when you want to say, this is the likely answer, but we are not finished confirming it. For example, the diagnosis was presumptive until the lab results came back. Another example, she was considered the presumptive nominee after winning several important states. Today's words were tenuous, meaning weak, uncertain, or not strongly supported. Discern, meaning to recognize, detect, or understand something that is not obvious. Conjecture, meaning a guess or theory based on incomplete information. Tacit, meaning understood without being directly stated. Presumptive, meaning based on assumption, probability, or what seems likely before everything is fully confirmed. Here are all of those words in one long sentence. After trying to discern the facts, she realized the connection was tenuous, the explanation was still conjecture, The approval was only tacit and the conclusion remained presumptive. Got a word you've heard but never quite understood? Leave it in the comments and I may use it in a future Syllabrew episode. Make sure to check the show notes for the spellings of these words. Thanks for listening to Syllabrew. You can support the podcast at buymeacoffee.com/why thank you.